All right, we are in the Daredevil Showdown, the 18-hole cup. So I got to figure out how I'm going to do this because I really do. I enjoy shooting the videos. It's just during the week, especially on the weekends, like getting to play the round. There's some times that I can play the round, but like last week, I played the front nine on Saturday, and I did not have time. We were working around the house and doing stuff, and I just did not have time to get it in. I tried to but what I think I'm going to do, and the stuff that I enjoy the most, you can get my background. That's my background noise. The part that I enjoy the most is doing the scouting reports and kind of the walkthrough deal, because everybody's kind of got to figure out the numbers. Like, we want to get started. You got to play with your clubs. It's really important, if you've got lower developed clubs, that you watch somebody play that has better clubs than you have, because they'll have better ball guide. And so if you watch where they're setting it up, when the ring sets first came out, when we first started doing the wind ring method, Tommy came out with a video and he was trying to explain, because he didn't use the wind ring method and he was winning tournaments, but what he did was he was a spot golfer. So like, let's say this is the fringe and he was in this spot right here, and the wind was blowing, let's say 10 miles an hour, just so that it's blowing 10 miles an hour in that direction, and here's the cup, and he set it up in there and he put that spin on it and he made a pool, and he marked where he pulled it to. And so if the ball came in on this side, he knew he needed to pull it further this way. And so he would keep messing with that and keep taking who knows how many shots until he found that the spot was right there. And so that's where he would start, and then he would pull out, and he had some deal that he did with it. But he does use the wind ring method now, because it's the same. It's a better way of doing that. But one of the things that what Tommy did is the spot picking. If you've watched my videos a lot in the past, and I've got like 5,000 videos out there on these holes, there's a lot of times where I'm a real spot person. Like, I like to be in a certain spot, and then I know how to work the wind out from that spot, and I'm not worried about like, hey, if you got this, you got to pull it back to here, whatever. I know that because I use the wind ring method. But I started off in a spot that was right in the center, so if I hit a great to the left or a great to the right, if I hit something that I don't want, then... But once you get on that shot that's going to the cup, you want to watch people who have good clubs, because if I'm starting off my shot going to the flagpole, where did my pin go? If here's the fringe, and I'm starting off in the fringe to go to the flagpole, and I've put on 3.5 topspin and a 1/4 right-hand side spin. If you've got a lower developed club, if you set your ball up in that same spot and you put that same spin on there, you're only going to see so much of where it's going to go, but it's going to get you really close. And I've done that with my upper developed account, my 77 account, and I take notes with my 77 account, and then I can use those notes for any of my other accounts, because now you got, and there's some shots where, like in your if you've got lower developed or mid-level clubs, you might have to do a different shot, and there's different ways to go at these holes. So I mean, I always try and show people as many different ways as I can think of, and I'm sure that there's more. And with the advent of the type of balls that we have nowadays, with topspin balls and backspin balls and all kinds of stuff, there's ways to play these holes that, you know, we need to check them all out. We'll see how the practice goes. But I'm just going to do I will try, and when I was really motivated, what I used to do was I would go out and I'd set up a playlist. Everybody let me know how much of this stuff, like, I would set up a playlist. And in that playlist was holes from other tournaments in the past. I would go research what holes these had been on before, and I would go find a tournament that I played on that hole, and I would, so that you at least got to see it in play, what it looked like. That was when I was really motivated. Let's see, hole number uno. I got it up. Didn't we just have this hole in a tournament? I could have swore we did, but there's a bunch of different ways to go. My personal preference, and I've played it out here for a long time, and a teammate of mine named Desi convinced me that this was the way to go. And so I lay it up to here, and there's a rough bump that you can do. Now, here's the thing on this rough bump. I think, if I'm not mistaken, that you're at like minimum club. And I've always done a plus 10% to the cup. So what I'm going to do here when I practice and I finally take that shot is I'm going to do plus 10%. But if I'm going to play it at wherever I'm at in my club. I'm not so sure that we shouldn't play it at 1 per ring, no matter where it's at. But I'm going to just play it where the club is at. So if it's in minimum club, I'm going to play 1.2. But I do know that on this hole we need to add on plus 0.1. I could swear that was the deal on this one. We need to add it on. But you can go straight forward and hit it out into here. It's hard from the tee box. Let's see if we can get the tee box in here. It's hard from the Ricky tee box. If you draw a straight line to the flagpole, and then you draw a straight line out here that's on the inside of those trees, you know, like trying to get any further in on to the green down here, you're really going to have to do, like, it might lend itself to doing like a max overpower hook, so that you're really trying to get over a super side spin ball so that you could bring yourself around the bend and try and get into this area. You have to get past these trees if you're going out here, so your window's like right in this area. And it's super easy if you hit it great to the... I always tried to, when I was hitting it long, to keep myself out of trouble, is if you're coming through this area right here, and this is kind of your landing zone, you really want to kind of be in this area. I cut this in half, and I always tried to get my topspin so it wasn't any farther than that, because if you hit a 1 ring great to the right, you might not get caught up in the rough. But if you hit a 2 ring great to the right, you're going to get caught up in the rough when it tails off. So, you know, but you have to get past these trees. So you do need to be in this pocket up here in order to get past those trees so you have a straight up shot. I suppose if you brought the right ball, if you had a really good ball inventory and you had some power 10s with some side spin, and you had a big curl club, that you could come out there and you could do some test runs and see how far you could get around the bend, like where you end up out in this area. It may be a deal of you can get pretty close, like maybe you can get up into this area and you just need to shorten up the topspin. But I don't know how close you can get. Tommy had a shot when he first started on this hole where he told people that you could hit through the trees and you could bleed out right here and you could take this shot. I'm 100% sure he doesn't tell people to do that anymore, but you can go find that. I'm not a fan of hitting through the trees, although I can think of one hole that I told people, like, you know, hey, hit through the trees, but I play it better now. I'm going to hit to right here with my rock and use a sniper and a kingmaker, and I'm not so sure that you can play this with less than a kingmaker. Like, you might be able to play it with a katana, but I'm going to take a kingmaker because I'm not 100% sure about that. Here we go. Was that like an hour on one hole? Is that the deal? I'm going to take this. No, I don't want to use my horizon. I'm going to use a sniper. That will work out just fine. And I'm going to bring a kingmaker. Heartbreaker. Here we go. Man, I have 0 tokens. I thought I had some. I do have some things that give me some, but now it might be too late. I'm going to pull back to the +2. That way, if it's a headwind day, I can always pull back. And I think it's like 3 backspin. Maybe 2. maybe 2 and a smidget. 20%, so it's 3, so it's 3/6. There's the 6. There's 1, 2, 3. Isn't it perfect? Okay, it's 1.1 times the wind. Grizzly. I am at minimum sniper, so it's 3.5 divided by 1.2. And I'm not so sure that shouldn't be 1.3. Plus 1 is 3.1. Isn't it perfect? Let's see if I can hit the rough. I did hit the rough. What did I need to do? I needed to pull it just a little bit more. And I did 1.3. And if I did 1.2, it would have been 3.2. Yeah. Okay. Played at 1.2. I haven't hit that yet. We just played that hole, and it seemed like I didn't hit it on the other ones. Like I cannot remember. I do have practice tokens. I have 21 of them. I thought I had enough to play. Hole number 2. Hole number 2. I'll split this in the halves. We'll do it like Tommy's got it set up here. Thank you, Tommy. All right. There is a rough bump that you can do on this, but you have to have the right ball. You have to have a ball that's got enough spin. You need, and it's about power too. So you need I think you need like a 1 power ball that's got 3 side spin. And they're saying plus 30, and I think I'm pretty sure that's how I played it in the past. There used to be a killer tunnel here. Killer. What do I have for low power balls with 3 side spin? And I think it was like one of those things where if you had a 2 power ball, it didn't work. You had to have like a 0 or a 1 maybe. We will see. I've got one of those in stock. Let's play it. And I think when these holes first came out, like this is a... Let's practice. 1.3 times the wind divided by wherever I'm at in my club. I don't have any of my freaking notes or nothing. I have none of my club. I'm trying to remember these. 1.8 divided by where am I? There's max. There's min. I'm at minimum club. 1.2 divided by 1.2. It's 1.95 rings. If I can find it. .95, 2 rings. I'm gonna miss. I can't believe I got that off, and I hit it great, and I overpulled, underpulled. It came that close. There's a funnel right there. There is a funnel. If you could do any of that stuff right and not give yourself, I can't believe it. When I got ready to pull it back, it was at 1, and I knew I was going to have to let it go at least to the needle. A lot of times you hit it perfect and that's when it times out. So I was apt to release early. There you have it. That's what that hole looks like. That is the way to play it, though. You can come out at one-on-one. I think this hole's been in like tour 9 because I've been playing. I think that's where I've been playing is in tour 9, and I have to play it from down here. You can play the rough bump, but you have to have the right stuff, and I usually don't have the right stuff. I've got like a quasar or something. Hole number 3. Hole number 3. You can play it, and I'm not sure if the big boys play it up here or not, and you can come at it, but in rookie we can, like, you can lay it up right here, and if you got mid-level clubs, and what you want to do is this right here is shaped like this, so you want to start your shot way up high. So not only do you get the distance from your shot, but it has to roll down the hill in order to get to the flat down here. So you can pick up a lot of distance the higher your shot can start off on the hill. And if you're trying to get over, or you're really trying to get down here, if you're really trying to get down into that area in here, or you're trying to get over, and depending on which way the wind's going, I don't have any topspin boost balls, so I don't think I can do it. I might be able to bring out like a power 6 topspin boost ball, and you could get over, but I'm just gonna shoot it. We'll see which way the wind's blowing, but I'll probably just lay up. I'll use a Titan. So I'll just lay up. A Titan, the king of balls. Use it. I'm starting to run low on Titans. I had like 1,200 at one time. We'll take, it really doesn't matter. Most people are going to have a extra mile, and you can do it fine with an extra mile. This is one of those courses where the green of the field is so, I'm going to start off like one ring down from the rough. It's 2-3. I'm going to add on, so I'm going to do 2-5 and a little. And we'll see how far down there we can get. One of the things I really like about this game is that the terrain does react. Man, there's some deal here. It's like one of these holes on this course is +10, and one of them's, there's max, there's min, there's mid. Let's try for the spectacular. You can try and bring it to it. It's 1 per ring. 3-4, maybe 3-7. Hitting it perfect. It doesn't have enough speed to get back to the hole. I was hoping that it would, but obviously it didn't. That was +10. I don't like the way the course is it's hard to see your ball guide. And I know that it's not like that on every course, so I'm not sure what's different about these courses. They have Bermuda grass or some shit. Hole number 4. Didn't we just... Waterfield Sands. Dunner and I came out here one day and we tried hitting out here, and I really liked the angle of hitting out here to the cup as opposed to hitting here, but this is a much easier spot to get to. We had to bring out, you really had to get it right in order to get into this spot with your first bounce, and you had to bring out big equipment, and you had to be able to get it around the bend without clipping this corner on your way around or overshooting it and ending up in the rough out here. You could recover out here. Back here I can't speak to whether or not you could recover, I can't remember, but it took special stuff. I did love the angle though, because of the way that the green is shaped. You were coming in, the cup, it seems like the cup is like right on the edge, and so it's difficult coming from this direction. Alright, we'll practice it once. We'll practice it one time. I'll bring out mortal stuff. I do want to switch that. I do want to play with, I'm going to switch up a couple of my bags. I know most people have extra miles, so I don't mind playing with an extra mile. The thing that I miss the most when I play with an extra mile versus an Apocalypse is the curl. I want to be dead center in the middle of that fairway. 4-1. I'm going to just take the wind out. That was a good solid ring to the left. Go down, Cat Daddy. Alright, and I think there's a rough bump that you can do right there too. It seemed like there was a rough bump that we could do from right in this area. Let's see what we got. Maybe not with a Goliath. There was a rough bump, I think. The difficult part was like right here there's a ridge coming down. When you're coming in from this direction, you can see that there's a ridge right here that drops down where the cup's like right along it, and you can ride along this flat and go straight to the cup. And you don't have to involve yourself with this hill or this hill. You just go for it. But it was a lot of effort to get over there. You should try that shot if you got a ball inventory. And I'm not sure. I think you had to have the right stuff, but you might be able to get up there with a Goliath. But definitely not with a Grizzly. I'm at Max Club. Max Club. There's Max. Is that almost 3 backspin? 2.8 Grizzly Max Club. It should be 1 per ring, so it should be 2.8. We'll see how much I needed to add on to it or take off. I have no idea. Definitely needed to add just a little. Not a lot. Let's see if it'll let me hit off the green. It will. We'll hit it back up there. We'll try that again. Now technically I was at Max Club, and some balls, if you got lower power balls, it's 0.9 per ring with a Grizzly, and some of them it's 1. So I'm going to count this as 1 per ring. And I'm going to add on 10%. So it's 2.5 times 1.1. It's 2.75 rings. And I had 2.75 rings. .75. Isn't it perfect? Still a little more. Let's try it. Let's see how many times they'll let us hit. We'll hit it back to that spot and we'll add. Final shot. I got you. They gave us one of those for free. There wasn't anybody else on the course. Everybody who's played golf in the real world's done this. You've been out on a course and you're by yourself or you're with your buddy and there's nobody behind you. And you play some hole and then you maybe play it again, or you go back, you play one of the courses I play all the time. It's got 2 holes and then you're at a bathroom and then that bathroom connects, and sometimes when you get there it's on hole 2 and it's hole 2, 3, 4 and 5. And then you're at the bathroom, and sometimes we'll get there and there won't be anybody on 2, and there's nobody on 1. There might be somebody in between, and so we'll just go to the bathroom and then jump on 2 and start over again. Get a couple free holes. We play there all the time. They know. I'm sure. Practice now. Hole number 5. Hole number 5. What do we have here? No, that can't be hole number 5. We just played that hole. Oh, there we go. There is a rough bump on this one. When I played this one, they're saying plus 30. But I'm not sure. See, that's the thing about looking at numbers. Like, you don't know if they're hitting over here or hitting over here or where they're hitting from. But there is a rough bump, I believe, that you can do from here. And I'm not so sure that this isn't another one of those ones you got to have a Goliath. Let's see here. GC notebook. Clubs. Long irons. Goliath. Let's see what it hits. It's at 1.9 per ring. And max. 1.8. 1.8 per ring. 2.1. Alright. I think I have a plan. It was hole number 5. I'm gonna put a Goliath in one of my bags, because I used to have a bag that had a Goliath in it. I have my utility bag. Goliath. I probably won't need that ball either, I'm sure. I'm going to take a Quasar. And I'm going to take a Quasar just in case I need the spin, but I don't think I need the spin. I think you can do this with just a navigator, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe. I can't remember. 1.3 is what Tommy's saying, but I don't think that's right. It might be. I'm right at max club. Swap the ball. Let's get a ball with some more side spin here and give me a little bit of breathing room. So on a headwind day, so this is definitely katana time. Living on katana time. Three divided by 1.8 is 2.16 rings. Isn't it perfect? With 0 time left, I'm sure. And a little more topspin through the cup. That's right there. That's the setup right there. And that was at 30%. I would have liked to have seen where I would have tailed off, because like a lot of these holes, they break right at the very, they're sloping as they come towards the cup. And it, like whether or not they'll actually go in, you need to get all the way to the cup. But only to the cup. But that's definitely one of those ones that I have to go back and watch that video and see where I put the ball guide. I'm sure I left it either right at it or a little teeny bit short, and just making sure that you're through the cup. That is a good hole right there. Yeah, I don't know how other people play it. I think that's pretty much in one-on-one playing this. You can get down there if I play with the Cataclysm on my APOC, and their red lines are pretty close. They're right at each other. So the deal is that if we've got a tailwind day, I use my Cataclysm, and if we've got a headwind day, I use my APOC, and you can do a very similar. You're not necessarily giving yourself a really good shot at making it, but you're going to be on the green with putt. You're a one-on-one. Come on. Come on. What is, man, this is a big asshole. Hole number 6. Oh, man, this hole is rough. You gotta bring out the right stuff. I think Dunner and I came out here one time and we tried to trying to get, because your first bounce is in this area right here, and it seems like it'd just be a pretty easy deal going from the tee box. Where is the tee box? Going from the rookie tee box. And it's even worse for everybody else, but going from the rookie tee box and just like coming out along this line. But this area right here, that would be fine if all this shit was flat, but none of this stuff is flat. This area right here is sloped down like this. So if you come in here on your drive and you hit a grate and you wanted to hit right here, and you hit a grate to the right, it is going to go to the right. Like you hit like a 2 or a 3 ring grate to the right. And if you hit a 2 ring grate to the right, you were definitely going to the right. I mean, like way to the right. Like you might get so lucky that you actually ended up in the fairway over here. It's not necessarily going to help you in the long run, but it's better than being in the rough. And laying up on here really isn't an option. I mean, you can lay up on here and try and get your club, because then your red lines are going to be back in here, and you're going to want to bring a bigger ball. You got to respect this hole. This hole will eat your lunch. It'll eat your lunch even with a big ball. But if you get yourself in trouble, it's easier to get out and at least put yourself into. Don't be a hero here, though. If you get into trouble out here, don't be some hero and like try and get, hey, I'll get it over here and then I can get up. Just lay it up down the fairway as far as you can get it without doing any overpower, and see where you're at and pull out. That way you can pull out your big clubs and you'll be able to hit it from there and you'll be fine. Don't be a hero. Don't compound the problem. So we want to get a bounce here, and we're going to get a bounce out here, and we got to get the bounce before the rough. It's a catch-22. I think if you bounce over the rough and you have enough speed because you're running all your topspin, then you can overrun, and I've done that before. So you almost need to clip the rough in order to bleed out. But if you don't bleed out enough, the deal is that from over here, you're trying to get out here far enough that you can get your red line in front of that. so you can really go at the hole. If you have to shoot from the backside here or over here on the side's better than here, but if you don't get all of your distance out here, then you're not going to be able to get up in front of that. This is one of those holes where the curl, like you need a club with curl or some curl. What do I have? What do I have for my number one bag? And there's a good chance I'm going to be using that hammerhead. And to be honest with you, I'd rather use a Horizon. And we're going to bring out a Zerk, because this is a hole right here that'll eat your lunch. There's going to be a lot of people that come out here and get their lunch ate, and they're going to drop a shot. You have to get an eagle on this hole, and they're going to drop a shot. And this is, if you come out here and just get your eagle, you're going to pick up a shot on half the bracket. And I'm not saying they'll miss it every time, but like they'll miss it at least once in a round. And there's going to be a big percentage of those people that missed it both times. I actually don't know. Like, I very seldom ever get, because I've played this hole in one-on-one a lot. But in tournament play, with a big power ball, you can get over and not have to do any overpower. That's excellent. I'm just trying to see. I want it to go right there. I'm trying to get greedy, and I hit that 2-ring grate to the right, and that'll put me in the rough. I told you could overshoot. This is one of those ones. Oh, I got lucky. I clipped it. I was trying to get greedy and see how far up that angle I could get. I was trying to see if I could get up into this spot. But you need to start off, and you can see, like I have, like where my red line's at, I have plenty of room. But if you end up trying to lay up over here, you're going to have to hit from like back over in here. And if you only hit from back here and you just barely make it over, you're going to have to hit from over here. So it might be overkill bringing out something big on the first shot, but on the second shot it could pay dividends. And I'm going to have to put some curl on it. I'm going to have to pull it back a little. There's 2-9. Perfecto. I'm just happy to get my eagle here. I mean, you can put yourself in a little bit better spot and have a ball that's got a little more side spin so that you can bring yourself around to the cup and set yourself up a little bit better with your equipment. But being able to hit in front of that, you can actually go for Alvy. But just coming out here and getting an eagle like that, a lot of people are going to come out and really struggle on this hole. Alright, what do we got here? What do we have here? Variable wind, select a hole. Hole number 7. What is hole number 7? This par 3 right here, I actually, didn't we just play these holes? I tried a rough bump from here, and I don't normally do that shot. It's a dangerous shot. And the wind, of course, is blowing on the sand side, and I didn't have a low wind ball. If the wind was blowing from over here, it would have been an okay shot to try. But I screwed up and did it when the wind was, when the sand, I had to involve the sand, and the sand was distorting the rings, and I got it wrong. I normally one-on-one play from down here, and I get my second bounce. You got to watch out about your second bounce, because your ball's going to want to be going, if you're looking at where the tee box is at down in here and you're in this area, and your ball's going to want to be going out like this, and because this is sloped down, when you put your side spin on, you're going to need to get your spin right, so you got a bounce that's way down here, your first bounce, and so it looks like it's in the clear, but if you hit it to the right, this is going to the right, so that's shallowing up the shot, and you can clip the rough and end up down here at the bottom, or you can get caught up in the rough and the sand. So when I'm setting this shot up, I'm really cognizant of where my second bounce is. Sometimes I set it up and it seems like my second bounce is like a mile away, and sometimes I set it up and it's super easy to get caught up. So be cognizant. I think I'm just going to go up and try and get a birdie and go home. 1.1 times practice, and I think we can use just a marlin. I think it's better if you've got a little side spin, so like a quasar might be better, but we'll see. We definitely don't need to bring a Power 5 ball. I'm pretty sure. I haven't checked, but I'm pretty sure. There's Man. There's Max. I'm at Mid Club. Yeah, something with more side spin would definitely be better. And when I mean more, I mean a lot more. There we go. .3, be 4.7. I'm going to let it time out. Now that we got the ball and we got all the stuff, so we'll see. I'll just do a straight up 10%. It is 3.2, 3.52. I'm going to round that up to 3.6 because I was kind of off on that side. Hitting it perfect. Right there, and didn't pull it enough. Like maybe 15%. Let's see if it'll let me hit off. I am on the fringe. I am. We'll see if I can get back up there and then hit it, turn around and then hit back. Now I'm not hitting it off of a tee, so I'm not sure if that plays any factor. I think it's actually hard to get back on the tee box. We'll see if we can get up on the tee box. I'm getting a little lag. Yeah, I almost made it back up on the tee. Dunner swears that he made it back up on the tee. Okay, so what do we got here? We got Grizzly. I did 10. Let's try 15%. Let's try 20. Let's just move up the scale. It's 3.84 rings. .84 rings. And I'm going to round that up to 3.9. There's 3.9. Hitting it perfect. And see if that gets us any closer. And we came in on the other side. So we came in on the other side about the same distance as I came in on the opposite shot. So try 15%. And that should be right there. Right there. There we go. There you have it. What hole are we on? Hole number 8. Let's try hole number 8. What do we have? Hold on 1 second. All right. So, in one-on-one play, I have to admit that there are some times that I end up on this pad up here, but not on purpose. I'm always trying to go down the hill to see if I can make it to the fairway, and there's a good chance that you can. If you hit it like where it's shaded up here on this hillside, if you hit up in that area when you start your roll down the hill, you'll make it all the way down. You may end up in the sand, but you'll make it all the way down. But if you hit up in here and then it's already rolling, there's a good chance that it might not make it all the way back down. I've had that happen a lot in one-on-one. But this upper area in tournament play, like, I will never hit to that upper area. I would rather get caught in the rough halfway down and take that shot than to have to just lay up on top, because that spot's up here and the green is way down here, and it is, I have no idea what the percentage change is that you have to add on, but it's substantial, I'm sure. If you can, you want to make it to the bottom, obviously. I've seen people weave and wave themselves, especially because of the new balls that we have. And I think our red line is like out in this area right here. And what we really want to do is get pushed up into this spot so we can get pushed up this lane as far as we can to clear these trees. And anything that you can get, if you can get your bounces to come in here and catch that fairway, you will go down. But the angle that we're coming in a lot of times wants to bleed out into that sand. So we'll see. Let's see I'm not going to know which way the wind's blowing. What kind of equipment. So we'll just have to go out there and test it out and see what the wind's like and check out different ball. I'll have to refamiliarize myself. It's been a long time since I played. It seems like we just played these holes, and it seems like I played this hole, and it seems like it's always better. Like, this is where a 4-4 or like a modern 8-8-8 would come in handy. Like, I don't have any. Do I have any 8 power balls? I must have some 8 power balls. I'm just going to take a standard Kingmaker, and let's see what we can do with a standard Kingmaker. And I'm only bringing a Kingmaker as opposed to a Titan because of the curl, or the side spin. Practice, practice, practice. Rookie. Like, I may be practicing down here so that I can show the video with a bigger ball, but I never play with bigger balls really until the weekend. Like, I might play, like, there's some holes that, like, if you want to keep, you have to. Like, if you have to keep up with the Joneses. This is almost one of those holes, because if you can get down there to the bottom, this is a And even getting down to the bottom, you have to understand that this is a 2-shot hole, because the shot down at the bottom, I don't know how many times I've made it to the bottom and then missed the second shot. It's not half of them, but it's enough that it's grim. Now you can see where it's coming through, and it's hitting the rough up there, and it's going towards the sand. So if it's on the inside of that shot, but I can't go too far on the inside because of that tree. And I like to be 2 rings off, so I don't have a lot of room. I'm gonna cheat and be 1.5, and it's 3/8. 3 rings is 3/6. So I'm gonna do 3/6 and a little. I'm gonna put that power back on it. Let's see if we can go for it. Hitting it perfect. And see if that was too much curl. That's going to be close. And I made it to the bottom. Whoa down, cat daddy. That's one way to get down there. But I used the wind. If you've got a headwind day, that's why I'm saying like a bigger ball. And if you start the week off with like a power 5 ball, let's see if we can get back up there. Let's see what this shot is from up here. You can see what I'm talking about on that shot. You get the gist. I might actually have to play this hole again, because the drive is this is what I'm talking about right here. Look at that shot. It's right out the club change. I wonder if this is one of those ones where you could hit it up there and you can actually go for the dunk. And you're close up at the top. If you missed it too far to the top, it might go over the hill and get on the other side. If you had a better short iron that had more, if you were using a thorn. I just happen to have this one in my bag. Where am I in club? There's the max. There's the min. Let's see if I can take that shot from mid. It's my sister texting me. So I think it can flatten out just a little. And I'm going to do 60%. So it's 1.6 times 2.8. And I'm at mid hornet, which is 1.3 divided by 1.3. It's 3.44 rings. Man, I don't think that's even enough. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 4. Oh, that's the first. I think that might be my first grade all day. That might start a trend. I think it would have either hit the flagpole and bounced off of it, or because that bounce was behind it, the bounces weren't right. That'd be close. That's 60%. I mean, I suppose if that's, you could do that without burning out any big equipment. It'd give you a consistent shot, because you could take that shot every single time and never deviate. Whereas if you're trying to get to the bottom, every single time you make it down there, you're in a different spot. Sometimes that spot might be the sand, and sometimes that spot might be. Let's play that one more time. I'm going to play hole number 8 one more time. Just so on the drive we can look at it with different balls, because I kind of snapped that off with that power 3 ball. Only because I had the wind. This is where coming out with a power 5 ball, you go, well, hey, on a tailwind day, that's overkill. But on a headwind day, because you're right at, like there's my red line at plus 31, and so I was back here with the, and I could barely make it past the tree. Let's be 1.5 rings. I'm gonna do, you can see where that bounce is. This bounce right here is coming down the slope, and whether or not it, because of these little moguls that are in here, if it catches one of them, like this bounce right here is on the downhill side of this mogul. If it's just a little bit back from that and catches the top, it'll get a bigger bounce. So when it comes to here, it'll get a bigger bounce, and then it'll bounce over like mine did and then run out. But if you pulled back to like the plus 20 mark and you set your shot up from there, it would be a little bit tougher. But on days where you have and here we have a headwind, it gives us a little bit of room. And that'll put me in the sand. That's a 1 ring great to the left. Now it's a good chance because I didn't put as much curl on it. It'll make it down to the bottom, but it'll go right into the sand. And I will tell you right now, I'd rather take this shot from the sand. So if you've got some precision balls, this isn't a bad deal either, because there's a chance that you're going to make it in the sand, or you might get caught up in the rough if you're just trying to bleed down into this area. If you're just trying to bleed through, so you're just trying to get to the top, and you can do this with it doesn't have to be a big ball. If you just make sure that you get one of your bounces at the top of this hill right here when you're coming through. So when you're coming around the bend, you want to make sure you get one of your bounces out here, somewhere in this range, so that the next bounce is in the rough and it'll bleed out and it'll get caught up right here. And this pitch is nothing, I mean, you have to pay attention. You want to make sure you hit it perfect. It's not one of those pitches that you can hit. You think you're close enough that you can hit a great to the left or the right and you'll be fine, but it's not one of those types of pitches. I don't think it said final shot. I'm going to hit it over here so you can see what I'm talking about. I think this is going to be like a mid rapier shot. So there's max rapier. So the flagpole's out mid. So I'm going to play it at mid. It's 2.4 per ring, or 2.1 per ring. 3.3 divided by 2.1. It's 1/6 just in rings. And this is one of those things I'm not going to run my topspin. I'm going to run up to it. I am running a little bit of topspin, but not like a normal rapier shot. I ran out of time. All right, let's see if it gives me one more shot. And I can get my math right. All right, I'm at, so I think I set my shot up a little, like I really want it to be like a 1 backspin shot. It's 3.8 divided by 2.1 is 1.8 rings. Oh, and I hit it great. There's a good chance I'm going to miss that. Oh, the speed was right. If the speed would have been wrong, it would have rolled right past the edge of it and smoked past it. Looky. There you go. That gives you a look at it with a bigger ball and if you're using the wind. But if you have a headwind day and you've got a 6 power ball, you can still get it done. You just have to hit it perfect. And I hit my first one long, so if you would have hit it a little bit shorter, you'd still be good to go. What is hole number 9? What is it? Excited people want to know. Hole number 9. Well, there really is only one way to play this. I think in one-on-one I've played at this, like played over to here and then played this shot because I didn't have the stuff to get over to here and make the shot, but I do know how to play my curl, and this is all sloped down to like feed yourself out on the green. I know how to play that, but it wasn't a fun shot. So like, and in tournament play, we always want to make sure we bring out the right stuff so that we can just hit right up into this area. And the second shot, one of these holes, because we've had the other hole that goes with this. Is this an Eagle Peak? Oh man, it is. I can't believe I got that right. The other corresponding one is with this, and one of them is at +10 and one of them is at -10. And let's see, -10, that's the one. But it seemed like it was like -10 plus 0.1, or like it was like I'm gonna just try the -10. I know that we play one of these holes, and the other one definitely played it. Yeah, it must have played it the plus. Alright, here we go. Let's see how we can do this. Now, a couple things about this hole is, number one, if you overdrive it in the second fairway where you're trying to land, if you overdrive it, you can recover with a Nirvana, like a mid-level Nirvana. The issue is how much topspin you have, so your second shot has to be dead on. I don't think it takes that much topspin. And it does not take a power 5 ball. It takes a Titan. Or I'm going to use a Kingmaker because of the second shot. I might need the... And I'm going to take... I'm going to do one with a sniper. I'm going to pull back a little. I'm going to pull back to +10. That's max topspin. I'm going to pull up to +15. 2-3. 2 rings is 2-6. It's back to the red line. Timeout. Sitting here thinking about it, working the deal, changing balls. This is why it's important to set your shot up and have notes. So I pull back. I'm going to pull back to the +15. That's 1 away. Is that only 1 away? I'm going to pull back. No, I'm just going to play it at the red line. I guess I'd have to bring out a bigger ball. We'll play all the topspin and see what happens. 2-9. I think that'll make me too far. So if you have a maxed out extra mile, you'd be a little short. And we'll see just kind of how much distance that gets us. And it's better to hit it to the right of where I'm at and hit it higher up on that hill. You're just shortening the distance to the cup. I'm not sure where the sniper hits. There's max, there's min, there's max, so there's mid club. It's 1.1 per ring. If you come out here with a Nirvana, you're going to be kind of like that you are right here. And with only 4.5 topspin, or like 3.5, 2.5, 3 in that area, trying to bridge the gap, and I actually think it's less than that. It's probably around 2. Trying to bridge this gap, can be difficult. You have to hit into the right spot so that the second bounce doesn't clip the rough. I will set this shot up. And this is the one with the -10, so it's 0.9 times the wind. And we know we're a mid club, so that's 1.1 per ring. And then I'm gonna add on 0.1. I'm just gonna hit it. This is where I know we need to make an adjustment on this, but I can't remember what it is, so let's make sure we're through the hole. 2.8 is 2.3 rings. .3 rings. Hitting it perfect. In the hole, look at that. It came in on the left-hand side of the cup though, so I either needed to start. I can go back and look at. I think I set the ball guide where the flagpole was at, where it was going straight at the flagpole. But what you could do on that is you could set your ball guide up so that it's still hitting the flagpole, but it's the lightsaber is rubbing up against the pole right here and not dead center. And that way it can help kind of pull those shots in. If that's where you're running, if you're running on that side. That might be the plus 0.1, like it wants to run on that side and you miss on that. You can start on that side of the flagpole, and then as the week goes on, if it starts to change, you can add on plus 0.1. There you have it. That was the front 9 of the Daredevil Showdown. How long did that take? That took 1 hour and 7 minutes. Thanks for watching. Yeah, if you've made it to this length of it, especially if you're new, like if you are in a clan and people are active, but you've got new people that are like getting into the game and they want to do the thing, like you could have them watch the videos. They'll learn a lot about the holes. A lot of these holes, I can remember when I see a picture of them, like a big picture, when I see the little thumbnails, I don't recognize it a lot. There's a few holes out there on some of the newer courses that I've really only played in tournaments. The course management doesn't like me, so I don't get to play out there very often. Thanks for watching. I will see you on the next one.